The year was 2012 at Alvin Ikoku College of Education. This was where Ebube spent his days, juggling two very different lives. By day, Ebube was a clever guy making his own way. He was an internet businessman. He knew how to make money online, and he used his skills to pay for everything: his school fees, his books, and all his living expenses. He didn't need help from anyone and was very good at taking care of himself. This independence made him stand out among the other students. But when the sun went down, Ebube belonged to another world. He was a committed member of the Buccaneers group. This group was all about strict rules and controlling their territory, both inside the college and in the town nearby. For Ebube, the Buccaneers offered more than just trouble. They gave him a powerful brotherhood, a strong network he felt he needed since he was supporting himself. They provided a form of security and belonging that his lonely online business could not. Ebube lived a double life that required total focus. He had to keep his grades up so he could stay in school, which was his perfect cover. He had to keep his online business running to pay the bills, and he had to be ready to act for the Buccaneers whenever they called, whether it was to face a rival group or to attend a secret meeting. He was a smart student who also wore the secret colors of the Akatali Code of the Buccaneers. Ebube believed he could control both worlds, using the strength of the group to protect his education. But in the dangerous world of campus groups, it was only a matter of time before his student life and his secret society life crashed into each other. Ebube was a true product of the street, a young man who had started life with absolutely nothing. There were no family safety nets, no wealthy uncles to pay his way, and no comfortable home waiting for him during the holidays. He grew up on the rough edges of the city, learning early that in Nigeria, surviving often meant fighting tooth and nail just to exist. He was one of those guys who understood, better than anyone, the brutal truth of the local environment. Life without connection is impossible. Trying to build a future alone, especially while trying to navigate the demanding world of a university, was like trying to climb a wall made of smooth glass. You needed a hand, a link, a powerful friend to even get a foothold. This harsh reality was the main reason Ebube joined the Buccaneers. It wasn't just for protection, it was for the connection. The Buccaneers offered a vast, secret network, a powerful family that could open doors, provide cover, and quickly solve problems that would crush a lone student. This membership was his strategic investment. When his online business faced a tricky situation, like a failed delivery or a customer who refused to pay, being a Buccaneer meant he had brothers who could make a phone call or make a visit. When he needed a quiet place to hide, or a favor from someone with influence outside the campus gates, the Buccaneer connection provided it. Ebube saw the Buccaneers as a necessary tool for survival and advancement. He was sponsoring himself through school, and he couldn't afford to fail or be delayed. Aligning with the Confraternity was the only fast track he could see to gaining the kind of leverage that wealthy students took for granted. He needed to ensure his money kept coming in, and that no one, especially rival groups or local troublemakers, could stop his hustle. His street wisdom told him that the power of the Buccaneers was the highest form of support available to a self-made person like him. He had convinced himself that he was smarter than the game, that he could use the group for his own benefit without fully giving himself over to its destructive demands. He believed he was using the connection to get an education, but every time he had to answer their call, he was paying the street's price in full. He was trading a piece of his freedom for the powerful network that helped him survive.
Everything seemed to be going according to Ebube's plan. His online business was strong, his school fees were paid, and his Buccaneers connection kept the wolves away. He truly believed he could walk the tightrope between the campus and the Confraternity forever. That belief crashed hard in late 2012. The issue began with one of his Buccaneers brothers. This member had been involved in a money matter, a transaction that went wrong, leading to a loss. The person responsible for the missing money was a rival, a member of the Black Axe Confraternity named Chigo. When the Buccaneer member approached Ebube for help, Ebube faced a clear choice. He could ignore the problem, protect his safe life, and risk angering his powerful family. Or he could step fully into the conflict, which meant trading his student life for the direct danger of a street conflict. Because of his deep-seated need for the connection and his fear of losing the support system that kept him alive, Ebube chose the fight. The mission was simple: teach Chigo a painful lesson and get the money back. One evening, after the campus had quieted down, Ebube and his Buccaneer brother went to Chigo's lodge. Chigo was caught completely off guard, believing he was safe in his room. The moment they entered, the environment changed from a calm student lodge to a cage fight. Ebube found himself holding down a struggling Chigo, while his brother beat him brutally. This wasn't a warning tap. It was a punishment designed to make sure Chigo would never forget the name Buccaneers and, more importantly, never steal from one of their own again. Ebube participated actively. The beating was sustained and severe, a clear display of the Buccaneers' policy of immediate, unforgiving retribution. When they were done, they left Chigo badly hurt inside his own room. They left no note, but the message was louder than any words. You don't cross a Buccaneer and live to forget it. Ebube walked away from the lodge that night, feeling a strange mixture of adrenaline and dread. He had successfully backed his brother, proving his loyalty and cementing his position within the Buccaneers. He had ensured his connection remained strong. However, he had done more than just help a friend. He had directly attacked a member of a powerful rival group in a highly personal, non-territorial dispute. He had signed his name onto a revenge list. The street rule is absolute. An attack on a member in his personal space requires an equal or greater response. Ebube had used his connection to solve a small money problem, but in doing so, he had invited a massive, life-threatening problem to his doorstep. The beating Ebube and his brothers delivered to Chigo was meant to be a painful lesson, a scare tactic to recover stolen money. But the violence was far worse than they intended. A few days after the attack at his lodge, the news spread like wildfire across the campus and the town. Chigo did not survive because of the severe internal injuries from the beating. This event instantly changed everything. This was no longer just a campus group fight. It was now a matter of life and downfalls, and it had drawn the attention of two powerful forces, the Black Axe and Chigo's grieving family. For the Black Axe Confraternity, the fall of Chigo was not just a loss, it was a huge disrespect and a direct attack on their honor. They saw it as an unacceptable breach of the street code, especially because it happened over a simple money matter. The greatest threat now came directly from Chigo's grieving family. Chigo was a son and a brother, and his family was completely devastated by his fall. They refused to accept the street's silence or let the case be ignored. They were powerful and respected people in their community who had strong connections. They were determined to get justice, not through street revenge, but through the official system. The family went straight to the police and local authorities. They loudly and publicly vowed that they would not let the case fade. They put enormous pressure on the police to investigate thoroughly and find the boys responsible for their son's fall. This meant that Ebube and his associate were now being hunted in the open daylight. Every student who had seen them, every lodge owner, and every person who knew Chigo was now a potential witness working for the police. For Ebube, this was a nightmare. He had always feared the Black Axe's revenge, but dealing with a committed, influential family seeking official justice was far more dangerous. The family's pressure meant that his name and the name of the Buccaneers were now linked to a high-profile crime investigation. Ebube's careful world, his online business, his student identity, and his Buccaneers protection was destroyed. The young man who had sought connection to survive now found himself terribly alone, caught between his own panic and the immense legal power of a family demanding something bigger for their lost son. He knew that if the police caught him, the power of the Buccaneers could do nothing to help him escape a crime charge. The pressure from Chigo's family was relentless, and the police investigation quickly became the central focus of the town. Ibube and his Buccaneers accomplice couldn't hide in the way they thought they could. The network they relied on, the very Buccaneers' connection that had led them to commit the crime, was now useless against the official search and the intense public outcry. The police were systematic and efficient. Based on tips and the determined work of the family's lawyer, the authorities soon identified the people responsible for the fatal beating. Ibube, the student who paid his way through online business, and the other Buccaneers member involved in the attack were tracked down and arrested. The arrest shattered any lingering hope Ibube had of controlling his fate. His life as an internet businessman and a student vanished instantly. He was taken from the temporary shelter of the campus and thrown into the harsh reality of the criminal justice system. The case moved quickly because of the public attention and the clear evidence that Chigo's fall was a direct result of the assault. The trial was painful and swift. Ibube and his accomplice were found guilty. The judge delivered a severe sentence that ended any possibility of a future outside the walls of a correctional facility. Ibube and the rest of the group involved in the crime were sentenced to life in prison. This was the final, devastating payment for the connection Ibube had sought. He had started with nothing and worked hard to sponsor his education, believing the Buccaneers would be a helpful tool for survival. Instead, that membership became the ultimate destruction of everything he had worked for. In a single, violent act driven by his loyalty to a destructive group, Ibube lost his freedom, his education, and his entire future. His story became a painful lesson to everyone on campus. Cultism does not give you power. It gives you a prison sentence. The streets promise protection, but deliver only walls and bars.
Ibube's story shows a crucial truth about campus cultism. Appearances are always deceiving. Outsiders might have seen the Buccaneers as a calm group compared to others, but no confraternity is truly peaceful. They all hide a dangerous core and operate under a secret code. The Buccaneers, often referred to as a calmer group, were still fatal on the inside. They demanded strict loyalty, and as Ibube's story proves, they were quick to use violence to settle a score, even a small money dispute. Every confraternity, no matter how quiet, has secrets and fatal rules that demand absolute obedience. They are all organized, and they are all built on the threat of force. It's true that on the campus of Alora Buccaneers College of Education, the Black Axe Confraternity was generally known to have more influence and was seen as more dominant than the Buccaneers. The Black Axe often controlled more territory and was known for swift, powerful strikes. However, never underestimate the Buccaneers or any other group. In the street world, dominance shifts constantly, and a perceived weaker group can be the most dangerous when provoked. The Buccaneers were willing to take someone over a few missing notes, showing their readiness to enter a full-scale conflict. The real danger is not which group is stronger, but the fact that no group is safe. Whether it's the dominant Black Axe or the seemingly quieter Buccaneers, joining any of them means entering a system where you are always one wrong move away from prison. The calm appearance is just a mask for the violence beneath.
This story is to educate, to warn, and to open the eyes of young people. What happened to Ibube was not just bad luck. It was the result of one wrong step that destroyed everything he worked for. And this part explains why nobody should ever join any group, no matter the promise, no matter the pressure. Ebube's story started with pain, but it ended with a lesson that many youths ignore until it is too late. He joined the Buccaneers because he felt alone. He wanted connection and people who would stand by him. In his mind, confraternity meant brotherhood. Many young people think the same way. If I join, I will have backup, I will be respected, I will not be alone. But in reality, cultism is a trap. It pulls you in with sweet promises, and then it ties your hands with violence, fear, and trouble that never ends. In school, Ebube believed he had finally found people who supported him. They drank together, laughed together, and acted like family. But a group that only shines during enjoyment will disappear when trouble comes. That is the truth about every confraternity. The day he followed them to Chigo's lodge in 2012, he thought he was simply proving loyalty. He didn't know he was walking into a situation that would end someone's future and end his own freedom. Confraternities make small problems grow into full disaster. A simple argument becomes a fight turns into fall, and fall turns into revenge. That is how cultism works. It starts small and finishes big. After the incident, everything changed. The unity he thought he had collapsed. Nobody could save him. Nobody could stand for him in court. Nobody could take his place in prison. Every brother disappeared when real trouble came. This is why young people must understand. Confraternity does not protect you. It only exposes you. You will carry the blame. You will face the police. You will face the judge. You will face the consequences alone. When Ebube sat in the courtroom and heard the sentence, life in prison, his whole world went silent. All the strength he built, all the hustle, all the dreams he had, disappeared just because he followed the wrong crowd. If he had stayed focused on school and minding his business, he would have graduated, gotten a better life, and changed his story. But cultism stole everything: his freedom, his future, his peace. Young people must hear this. There is no benefit in joining any confraternity, not one. It will not give you a better life. It will not give you a better future. It will not make you a real man. It will not protect you when trouble comes. Instead, it will give you fear, problems, police cases, and a life filled with regret, hiding, danger, and pressure. Many innocent youths have lost their lives. Many are in prison today. Many cannot go home. Many cannot sleep in peace. That is not brotherhood. That is bondage. Ebube's story is not to entertain. It is to warn. It is to open eyes. It is to save others from making the same mistake. Say no to cultism. Say no to confraternity. Say no to violence. Your life, your future, and your freedom are more important than any group or any false promise. Let Ebube's pain become your lesson. Do not follow the road that destroyed him. Choose peace. Choose safety. Choose your future. This content is for educational purposes only. We don't support cultism.